Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel, and this is your tip of the week. I get a lot of viewer questions, and one of the questions I get occasionally and even lately is I'm having problems with hemming pants. Now pants, if you know what to do for each particular style, it's easy, but not all pants are designed the same way. And so in order to have your hemming come out great, you need to know what kind of pant style you have and how to approach it. So here are some tips. Barbara had a question about hemming pants. When she was hemming pants that she had purchased for her husband, she hemmed them using a blind stitch, but she found she had puckering happening on the front side. Let's look at the different styles of pant legs, and this also goes for shirt bottoms, blouses, sleeve bottoms, straight skirts, flared skirts. We need to look at how the garments are constructed. This is an example of a perfectly straight garment. It's the same distance down at the bottom as up at the top. So when you go to hem, doing a blind hem stitch, there is no puckering at all on the front, and there is none on the back side. When you try to shorten a pair of tapered pant legs or skirt, whatever your garment is, you've cut off the bottom and you fold it up, you can see how it puckers here on the front side. So when you try to do your hem stitches, it's going to be very difficult to get anything to lay flat. To hem tapered pants, skirt, dress, blouse, whatever the garment is, if it has a tapered bottom, take out the side seams. For this next step, use either bias hem tape. If you can't find the right width of bias hem tape, just purchase regular bias tape that's already folded, unfold it and press it open, and cut two pieces wider than the bottom of your leg. Place the bias tape along the raw edge of your fabric of the garment. Stitch 1/4 inch seam. Press the seam and make sure the seam is going up towards the top. And you would do it on both sides. Then fold and press however wide you want your hem to be. And again, do it on both sides. So now it's folded up. Take your ruler and your rotary cutter, line the ruler up on your edge of your garment fabric and trim this off. Go to this side and do the same thing. Unfold the fabric. Now the width of my seam here is 1/2 inch. Whatever your width is here, continue stitching down each side. You can see how the stitch line comes in and then flares out on each side. When you fold it up, you can see that it doesn't pucker anymore along here. So now just pin and select whatever hem stitch you like. Here is an example of a garment that is flared at the bottom. So in folding it up, if you'll notice over here, I have excessive amount of fabric. So when I try to hem this down, the actual hem part is going to pucker on the back side. Here is a suggestion on how to hem a flared bottom. Fold it up and then fold it to where you want the bottom of the garment to be. When the lower edge here touches the side seam up here, put a mark, and then put a mark. Turn it over to where your marks are. Take your ruler, and here's my hemline. I darkened it so that you could see it. And I'm just going to line up my ruler on those two edges, and I'm going to cut and do the same thing over here. Line it up there like this and cut. Remove the stitches and then re-stitch whatever width this is along here. So you're basically going to come down and then taper in. So here's my new seam line right here. Fold your hem up and it now fits perfectly, and there's no puckering on the back side. If you want to make something really, really quick and that looks very festive for the holiday season, look for large print fabrics like this. This is pretty large. One of the things I like to do with large print fabrics is cut them out and make them into drink coasters. So I'll either cut them into a square or a circle, and sometimes I cut them into other shapes also. And I'm going to have samples of some of those drink coasters I've made before, and that link will be down below in the description section. So if you want something quick, check those out. So let's say I would make these in a round one. So I would just take a round circle, maybe a small bowl, cut around it. You're going to use the fabric for the top, piece of fabric for the bottom. You can either use fusible fleece on the inside or fusible interfacing, or if you want, cotton batting. Stitch it together, leave a little hole so you can turn it front side out. This is a really quick project. Now here is some other large prints. I thought this was so cute. Here are a couple of turkeys like this, and I like to make pot holders, especially for the holiday season. So I'm going to show you how to make a 4-patch. If you've been following me for a while, you've seen me do this many times. But if you're new, this is how you do it. So you take 2 squares, you lay them out in the opposite corner of each other. Then you take other fabric. So then you stitch this row together, then you stitch this row together, and I usually use a 1/4 inch wide seam. Then stitch this together, and you can make fun pot holders by doing this. Now this probably looks like a placemat to you, when you probably could use it as a placemat. But what it is a single layer of fabric. Here's the back of it. On the edges, I have put double fold bias tape on it. You can either use the 1/4 inch or the 1/2 inch. And what this was used for is I had this really pretty wicker basket, and it was a rectangle shape, but it was very shallow. And I wanted something quick that I could put in it and act as a basket liner. So what I did was I measured the overall length, how high the edges were, and they weren't very high, and I made it oversized. So when I pushed this down into the basket, the edges here hung over the edge. So it protected the wicker basket from getting food all over it. And this is washable, so it doesn't matter if crumbs and other gooey items get on it. Occasionally I get a question on what size should I make my napkins? Well, you can make them any size you want. But what I do is I usually use a fat 1/4 piece of fabric. It's usually around 18 inches by 20 inches, and that's a really good napkin size to use. So if you're making them for a particular season and you want each napkin a little different, but you want all the colors to go together, you can buy a fat quarter pack. So here is a fat quarter pack that's for spring. It's got all these spring colors on it and flowers. And so they're all coordinated together. So if you want it for a particular season of the year, you can go on the internet and say, I want fall fat quarter pack, or I want Christmas or Easter, or I want a patriotic colored fat quarter pack. Now, for those of you who like to do cross stitch or embroidery, you probably have at times leftover small pieces of Aida cloth or embroidery cloth. So you could make a small little sign like this that says anything you want on it. And this is glued onto these little wooden pieces you could get at craft stores. I got mine at Walmart, and they come stained or unstained, and you can paint them also. Then to top it off, I had all these leftover scrap pieces of little fall foliage, and I just glued it into a big clump like this. And this makes a nice little decoration for hanging on the wall during the fall season. Well, I hope you enjoyed this tip of the week and that you learned something new. If you're interested in seeing tutorials that go in more detail about what I've talked about, make sure you go down to the description section below your YouTube screen. So as you're scrolling down, look for the word more, click on it, and that section will expand open. Now don't forget to follow me on Instagram and make sure you check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.